a lot of money that you guys got. Did any of that help you, or did it all go up in smoke?
No, it didn't help me.
It didn't help you.
These people need to be institutionalized. Giving them control of money is irresponsible. Yeah, I mean, maybe institutionalization wouldn't be the worst thing for them. Like, in her mind, was she wrong by Mark because there isn't more money? Or does she understand, like, she spent it all frivolously? I think Mark shouldn't have lied about that, an exclusivity contract. That seems dumb. I think Tyler, you know, kind of took that and ran with it, with that misinformation that he was handed, and unfortunately got them into this big mess. So, yeah, but I think the thing about the money, Tyler shouldn't have framed it the way he did, because it came across as very scummy. I feel like Tyler's being kind of cringe. I don't know. I feel like he's apologizing, but he's still kind of calling out Mark. I feel like he just has to take the L. So one thing I wanted to talk about on stream while we're here, while we're chilling, while we're enjoying life here, okay? You guys know who the Whittakers are? It's this incestual family from... Is it West Virginia? I think it's Virginia. There's been a lot of drama going on recently with Soft White Underbelly, Tyler Oliveira. You can see I've already watched this interview, but I want to see the rest of it. I don't know if Tyler Oliveira deleted his videos already about it. No, it looks like he took him down. Well, I know the basic story, so I can give you guys bullet points. Okay, so the basic story is that Soft White Underbelly is a big channel on YouTube, you guys probably know, and it's headed by a guy named Mark. Something like 15 years ago, he discovered the Whittakers, which is this incestuous family in, I believe, West Virginia. He found them interesting. He filmed a video with them. It went viral, okay? Soft White Underbelly, the most viral video he has is titled Inbred Family, The Whittakers. I first photographed the Whitaker family for my first book, Created Equal, in 2004. That visit was interrupted by an angry neighbor with a shotgun who threatened to use it if I didn't leave the Whittakers alone. After explaining what I was doing, he calmed down and allowed me to photograph the Whitaker family. The two portraits shown in this video are from that book. I've returned to visit the Whittakers when I've been in the Appalachia for 2 other shoots, but on this visit, in July of 2020, I recorded a bit of a video for something many of us have heard of but have never actually seen. I strongly discourage anyone attempting to look for the Whittakers as their armed neighbor, and the Raleigh County deputies both make it clear that curious visitors are not welcome. And they bark like dogs, which is crazy.
Why they saying you ate a treat if you ain't eat a treat from... Did you eat... Let me ask you again. Did you eat a treat from where... Alright.
They're super syndromed up, you know what I'm saying? Bro barks like a dog. And they're all like this in some way. I believe this one, I think this is Lorraine. I think she's the most normal one, but the rest are like, you know, they're chill, but they go off, you know. They get skibbity with it.
So what are your names?
Lorraine, Timmy.
I'm sorry, who's this?
His name's Ray.
Ray. I remember Ray. I photographed you, Ray. Do you remember? Years ago. And your name is?
Lorraine.
Lorraine? And Timmy?
Yeah.
Now, you guys grew up here in Odd, West Virginia.
So basically, this guy did this video. It went super viral. And the Whittakers ever since have been a pretty big thing. And he filmed a bunch with them, right? Well, Tyler Oliveira, another YouTuber, ended up wanting to do a video with them. So he emailed Mark asking if there were any issues with filming with them, right? And Mark eventually basically said they had an exclusivity contract to film with the Whittakers and he could not go there, which gave Tyler, you know, kind of a weird feeling. He got weirded out by that. He's like, there's an exclusivity contract with this incestuous family. Are they even intelligent enough to consent to some kind of agreement like that, right? Tyler's video is still up. His video is still up, but is the video about the drama still up? Let's see here. Tyler Oliveira Whittakers. Okay, it's this one, right?
And like, I can't read.
Could I control F for Mark? Here we go.
Mark, if you have any honor, let's combine whatever my viewers and I raise, your 2 GoFundMes, and let's get the Whittakers a new house for reals. Thanks for watching, guys.
Is there another mention of him? Basically, in this video, he kind of called him out.
Mark giving you guys an update?
No.
Okay. When's the last time you guys have talked to Mark?
I talked to Mark the other day.
The other day? Okay. Timmy, you want to say hi to Paige?
Like, basically, they were supposed to be getting some money, I believe, for a house, and it appeared that they hadn't gotten it, and so Tyler was kind of weirded out by that. So that's why he kind of called out Mark softly in this video.
So it was a pleasure to meet you, Betty. Meet you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stay warm, all right? Ray's happy. He's got the cookie and the Dr. Pepper.
And a lot of people had problems with this video. Here you have a message here. He says, "Hey guys, Mark just updated everyone on the Whitaker situation. Mark provides a more in-depth explanation of how the GoFundMe money was sent to them. While it's unfortunate the money raised was not and will not be used for a house, it's good to know the Whittakers ultimately received it over the last couple of years. Hopefully those that donated to Mark's Whitaker GoFundMe campaign are satisfied where and how the money was sent. Mark, thanks for your transparency and clearing up the questions many had. The fact that he said, and Mark, if you have any honor, not cool and very much gaslighting.
We have new merchandise, boys and girls. Yes, I know you're excited it's here. It's a unique Y2K inspired design for all you goth baddies. It's double-sided. It's got Leave Me Alone on the back. On the front, it says Turkey Tom in death metal font, but you can't really tell. And that's why it's awesome, okay? This isn't just YouTuber merch. Nobody in public is gonna know you're watching videos about losers, creeps, and P words, okay? Nobody's gonna know. All they're gonna know is that you have this super swag shirt and you don't even have to explain it to anyone. But if you see a real one in public, they'll know. We've got a puff print on it, which means that the print basically sticks off of the shirt here. You can feel it, it's very textured and nice. My new merch is so icy, I had to put it in the freezer. It's so cold. It's just what I needed for the summer months. And included in every order, we also have a sticker you can stick on your laptop, girlfriend, dog, whatever makes you happiest, you got it. And if you want to get this shirt right now, you actually can get it on my website right here on Turkey Tom's shop. You can select whatever size you want. Shipping is not too expensive. We've made it pretty affordable. There's a very limited quantity, and once they're gone, they're gone. We're not doing this again. So, yeah, grab them while they're here. Before they're gone forever. Just like your mom.
Mark was sending his family more monthly income than my home takes in. I have a lot of family, a lot like the Whittakers. Betty knows what she's doing. A lot more than people think. Some people are innocent in this family, like Ray and Timmy, but others would definitely take advantage. Some people can't be helped because they won't help themselves. Now taking the video down and editing out the lies and slander against Mark is bold. Imagine suggesting Mark has no honor. Gross. So a lot of people didn't like this video by Tyler, and he basically got called out for it. I believe he made some videos responding to this stuff. One of them I think was on his toilet because there was some deleted video about this. Yeah, this is the one.
All right, update on the Whittakers and Mark Laida. One day ago, I uploaded a video about West Virginia. In the last 7 minutes of the video, I go to the Whittakers' house, drop off some groceries, and I ask Betty Whitaker what's going on with the house and where is the money. I'm referring to a GoFundMe set up by Mark Laida where he raised $77,000.
The Skyrim music is crazy.
From the generous donations of many
Tyler
people
Oliveira toilet. Is the toilet skibbity? What do you think?
Watching his videos with the Whittakers with the intent to buy the Whittakers a new home. The title of the GoFundMe is Help the Whittakers Purchase a New Home. Now, I asked Betty what's going on with the money. She says, Mark says we've run out of money. What house? What do you mean, basically? So I uploaded this to my video and I open-endedly asked Mark, what's going on with the GoFundMe? Where's the money? I did not accuse him of doing anything. I did not call him names. I merely asked the question I myself was curious about, and thousands of other people in Mark's own channel have asked him.
He says here he asked the question, but I mean, he was kind of implying here that Mark did something wrong, right? It was a little more than that. It was more than just a question, I would say. And he's getting involved in a situation I think he probably totally doesn't understand because Mark has been, in contact with the Whittakers for years now. And it seems to me that Tyler's a little in over his head with this situation.
And I would imagine that includes many people who have donated to the cause, which is to help buy them a new home. Which brings me to my next point. Mark uploads a video to his channel where he says he's transferred over $100,000 worth of his viewers' donations to Betty Whitaker. There is no money left in the accounts, and they would constantly ask for the money, and he would send it to them. There's no money in the GoFundMes left for a house, which was the entire goal of the GoFundMe. My problem with this is, A, he could have just updated the viewers every couple months, or every video with the Whittakers, hey, we're actually using these to keep the Whittakers alive. When they asked for it.
That's true. He probably should have made that update, in fairness. But I believe Mark of Softwood Underbelly is pretty fucking pissed about the way that this went. The death of Larry Whitaker. This is a video about basically how I think they pretended that one of them died. Like the incest people, they pretended that one of them died. This is Mark's response, though, to this, which Tyler is currently responding to. Mark's fuck up was saying they have an exclusivity contact with the Whittakers, which is just an excuse to not give Tyler the contact number. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. That seems like kind of a fucky thing to do. I guess he just didn't want Tyler to make the video.
Hey, everybody. This is Mark. I thought I'd address something that a lot of people are have questions about. There's a young YouTuber named Tyler Oliveira, I believe his name is. He has a channel, Tyler Oliveira Investigates, or whatever.
I like that he's like subtly shitting on Tyler, being like, he's a young guy, don't really know his name. He's got some YouTube channel. He investigates or something. Like, he's throwing a little shade here. He's throwing a little shade.
Something like that. But he posted a video about the poverty in West Virginia, but he spent some time with the Whitaker family in West Virginia and asked a lot of questions about the GoFundMe that my channel has that benefits the family. And I thought I'd answer everyone's questions because I'm sure if you've watched that video, you've got a lot of questions about what's going on with the GoFundMe for the Whitakers. This GoFundMe that I've had for years, since I've been interviewing the family, has generated a lot of money for the family. It was always designed to help them with their living expenses. And then, like, end of last year, we changed it to, we started a new GoFundMe, and I tried to start a new one so it would look like this is how much money we're going to get for the house. And as we accumulated money for that, I was thinking, hey.
I do get it. Young guy YouTuber trying to make drama is probably what this dude thought. Maybe protective of the inbreds. It seems to me like Tyler was trying to cause a little drama. In fairness, you know, he was poking the bear a little bit by saying things like, "If Mark has any honor, he'll team up with me for my GoFundMe." Like there does seem to be a little bit of fuckery going on, right?
Hey, we're getting closer to our goal, but the problem has been that Betty and Larry will call me every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and say, "Hey, we need money for a car. Larry wrecked his car. We need a new car. We need food. We need this. We need that." It's always an emergency, and they need money. And it is their money. This money is, you know, all these donations are for the Whitakers. And when they tell me they need money, what am I going to say? No, you can't have it. We're saving it for a house. So I give them the money. Sometimes it's $5,000. Sometimes it's $4,000. Sometimes it's $6,000. Or one time it was $14,000. Sometimes it's $3,000 or $2,000. But it adds up. Every few weeks, I'm getting another phone call. We need more money. We need more money. We need more money. And I wire transfer it to Betty. I'll show you a...
Where's that money going? Here we have wire transfer records, basically, from the bank. We can see $1,000, $2,400.
Screenshot of my bank account and all the wire transfers that I've sent to Betty. These are all going from my account to Betty Whitaker's account at the, I think, Chase Bank.
3,300.
Beckley,
3,000. 5,000,
so
5,000,
even though we've generated,
2,000,
I think the earlier GoFundMe
1,000.
had about 77,000 before we ended it, and then this one currently now has 55. The one for the house has 55,000. That totals what, 120, 130,000 roughly. Keep in mind that money still, we still need to pay tax on that money. Somebody needs to pay the tax. If I left it up to the Whitakers to pay the taxes, I think we'd have a problem with the IRS. And I don't want to get the Whitakers involved in any kind of tax problem. So I chose to pay the tax on that money, and they get every cent that is left after the taxes are taken out. Because I've gotten these weekly, not weekly, but every few week calls from Betty or Larry asking for money, the money that's in these accounts gets depleted. It's always happened with them, where it looks, you look at the GoFundMe, it's generating money. All of a sudden there's 55,000. Oh, we're getting closer. No, you're not, because they took out 5, and they took out 6, and they took out 8, and they took out 14, and they took out 3, and it keeps it low. It's 0 right now. It's been 0 for a few months. Larry and Betty have called me, asked me for money. I've given it to them out of my own.
What are they using this money for? Why do they need $6,000 every 2 weeks? I feel like basic living expenses for one person can be kept relatively low, especially if you're living in bumfuck. Like, what are they buying? Like, what do you need to buy realistically? Like groceries? Do they buy like a cool car? What if they bought a cool car? I would actually support them if they scam people to buy a cool car. Like, what if they took all the money that he sent, they stacked it, and then they bought like an M3 and they just like whipped it around. That would be cool. That would actually be base. That would be awesome. How much is like a new M3 MSRP? What are we looking at? 76. Okay. That seems cool. That seems base. The GoFundMe had 77,000. That's just enough to get an M3. An M3 out of all cars. The M3 is cool as fuck. What do you mean, dude? This car looks a little janky, but like fucking, like a 2016. Oh yeah, dude. I'm gonna bust. They're cool because they look like a 3 Series, but they're fast as fuck. If they would pick the M3, no, they wouldn't. They would pick something stupid. They would pick like a Dodge Charger or something. Or they'd get like a truck. They'd get like a Toyota Tacoma Sport Trim or something with like the scoop on the front. They would get that. These families have generational knowledge of milking government and charity. My ex-wife's family was like, that's true. They're good at it. They're experts, dude. How have they been? Have they just been living off disability before then? How have they been getting money?
Personal bank account, not out of their GoFundMe donations, because I like helping the family. But without the ability to stop spending and start saving, we're never going to get close to that house.
When the house came,
it seems like they just need like a caretaker or something, basically, which you can't really expect this Mark guy to do. He has his own life to run, but basically the Whitakers need like a full-time caretaker to make sure they're not being, no offense.
up also, I think they brought up a house that was across the street from them.
Right next door.
Yeah, and when we looked it up, it was over 200,000. So we knew.
I don't think they want to leave their neighborhood.
Right.
So they like the house next door. It's a nice house. It's expensive for the neighborhood, but whatever. That's a whole nother topic, because we're not talking about whether they're going to get the house now or not.
Right.
this is about this video that Tyler Oliveira created. Basically, it's there are people on social media that create these like scandal stories. They're not factual.
It's misinformation.
They're misinformation. They're making up facts to create a scandal. Like, wouldn't it be juicy if Software Underbelly was collecting GoFundMe donations and not, he was keeping the money? Ooh, that'd be a really juicy story. So that's what he designed. He didn't ask me. He never called me. He did call me once to ask if he could give them my contact info, but I don't want to give out the contact info of everybody I interview. You know, how many requests for the Whitaker contact info did we get back then?
So many. It would have ruined their life if all the people got their
yeah.
address
So we have
asked
to
us.
figure out a way to keep everybody from just going to the house and it becoming like a problem for them.
That's actually a valid answer. I guess I wish he just wasn't dishonest over email and said that we have an exclusivity contract, because they don't. I wish he could have just said the real answer, which probably would have been decent.
So I made up excuses why I'm not going to give out the contact information.
We've done that for a lot of guests, not just the Whittakers.
Anybody asking for a girl's phone number or girl's email.
Lieutenant Chat says, cry about it, old man. He called you out because the people didn't have a new house. Just explain it and move on. I mean, I understand him being offended to an extent, realistically. Cry about it, old man. Yeah. I like hating people because they're old. Can that be a new thing? Like, anyone who's just like above the age of like, let's say like 30, you're just wrong because you're old. And to me, that is old because I'm 15. So if you're above the age of 30, you're old, in my opinion. And you're worthless. You mean nothing. Lotan is 9. You guys may not know this. He's 9 years old. And I know this personally. He's 9, I'm 15.
I always say no.
That's right.
Emailing us to get somebody's
He
contact.
lied for views. Everyone does it, Boomer. Literally.
Info is not the way to do it. But back to this problem. So Tyler creates this video. It's going to have 1 million views soon. His channel's bigger than mine. He's got a lot of followers. So he's basically ruining my reputation for some people. Now, luckily, I think my audience is smart enough to know the difference between BS and a social media scandal that's all fake and the truth. But this is what these people do. He's just one of many that create these scandalous stories. And it's like, ooh, he could have easily contacted me. He says, hey, Mark, my name's Tyler. I'm doing a video on the Whittakers or on the GoFundMe. Tell me what's going on with that. So I would have said, yeah, I give them money at least once or twice a month, sometimes 5,000, sometimes more, sometimes a little less. And it adds up. And it's depleting the reserve.
Lotan says, this old bag of skin dressed up for picture day at middle school. What does that fit? What is the background? What is the background? The fit is fine, but what is this background? It literally does look like picture day. Is this like an artistic choice? This is like the background that I had for picture day at school, literally. This old bag of skin. Bag of skin is crazy. This old sack of bones.
Reserve of money that we're trying to build for the house. So now it's basically right around zero, and we wait for more donations, and then I give them the money. That would have killed his whole story. Because what he wanted was to make me look like I'm not giving them the money.
I think, yeah, Mark is right here. You can tell Mark is fed up with all this shit and very heartbroken. $100,000 is a house. They pissed that money away. That's on them. I watched both yours and Tyler's video before. I also saw the Atozi video where he interviewed Tyler. It's very clear that your content's genuine and comes from a place of wanting to help the people you meet. Well, his feel more exploitative with each new video. Do they feel exploitative? I'm curious why people feel that way about Tyler's content.
They've gotten every single cent of any money that was ever donated. I have to pay the taxes, and everything else goes to them. That's always been the case with my channel's general GoFundMe as well as the Whittakers GoFundMe. It's just a shame that I share a platform with people that do this kind of stuff. I think it's just the nature of our new world with, the confluence of social media and
Okay, this is cringe, bro. Yeah, you use YouTube, dude. You're an artist. We get it. Why the pretentiousness? I get why he's mad at Tyler. Tyler did suck in this situation, but it's a shame that I share a platform with people who make content hating on other people. It's like, dude, shut up. Sack of skin.
It's just a race to create content, it feels like. That's all.
Tyler needs to work on the way he portrays his content. Some of his thumbnails are crazy. I mean, I don't really fault Tyler for
I'm suspicious of what's going on here.
I don't really blame Tyler for the thumbnails. You got to get people to watch the videos. They are kind of crazy, though. I snuck into the Bohemian Grove with like an evil owl in the background. It's just like AI art. I investigated the gun violence capital of America. I investigated the murder capital of the world. I investigated the cancer capital. What is that? Warning, cancer in the air. What is that? There's no way that person exists in this video. The thumbnails are pretty crazy. I investigated if aliens built the pyramids. I mean, the videos themselves are pretty entertaining when I watch them. You got to get people in the door somehow, right? I don't really blame him for clickbait necessarily.
I'm suspicious.
I don't.
Yeah, it's just freedom of speech and the
Mark
internet
balls
to combined
True.
are dangerous. But that's the world we have now. So people are used to it and they know oh, this is just a hater or it's BS. And I think a lot of people smell BS when they see this kind of stuff. But some people don't know my reputation. They don't know who I am. And they'll hear a story like this and think, yeah, he's a scammer. He's a con artist. He's keeping the money for the GoFundMe. And I'm sure there's people that are going to believe it, even though I'm showing you the proof in this video.
What did they spend the money on? Where did the money go?
That's just the nature of human beings, I think. You know, it's disappointing that that's the way it goes, but that's what's going on in our world.
There's many viewers that actually reach out to us when things like this happen. So thanks to those.
The way I found about it was somebody emailed us, I think, and told us this was going on. But my viewers are great. My base viewers are great. The peripheral ones that kind of like love scandals and love to hate, I don't know why they're even on my channel. I think they're just frustrated and bored. But you know, if you look, like, what did Jesus tell us? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. I think another way to interpret that is if you love yourself, you will love your neighbor. It's just natural. If you're happy with yourself.
Why are we quoting the Bible? What's going on? A little high and mighty. Thank you, Bad Dragon, for the dono. Sus name. Is this what you're talking about? I'll check this out after.
If you're going to be kind to others. And likewise, if you hate yourself, you're going to hate others. That's just the way it works. And these people are miserable. And they're going to hate on it.
All right. Where did the money go?
Happen. Like, nobody came to my defense and said, hey, Mark gives us a lot of help, a lot of money. Nobody said that. I never once have ever.
If he is saying it is true, it is honestly gross he didn't reach out for comment, especially from the guy who's doing hit piece on. I mean, you don't always have to reach out for comment. I feel like the bigger problem is he had no evidence that Mark was misusing the money. And to trust the Whittakers, who are like an incestuous family who's been living off of Social Security and whatever else for years and years. And they don't seem, would you guess that they're financially responsible? I probably wouldn't. So to not reach out to Mark for comment about this does seem silly when you don't have any evidence of something bad going on to like imply it, right?
Forgotten to thank you from anybody. But that's a whole other conversation. But, you know, I also have a GoFundMe for my channel in general. And the reason these GoFundMes exist in the first place, I should say.
Where the money went came to light after this video was posted. Atozy talked about it. Okay, I actually have seen the Atozy video, but I actually don't remember where the money went. Was it implied something to do with drugs?
It's just what's going on.
So Atozy is a commentary channel that I like, and he's done some good videos. He did an interview with this person. He did an interview with Tyler, and he basically just got his thoughts on it and, you know, illuminated people as to his viewpoint.
Here, and admittedly and regretfully, and this is my apology to Mark, it was accusatory and we could have gotten the same information without questioning his honor and just wording everything like we did. We could have clarified with the email. If he didn't respond, you know, that would have been our answer. And if he did respond, there would have been our answer.
Oh boy. Okay, it's safe to say a lot happened for us to get here. So let's quickly start from the beginning. So Soft White Underbelly is a channel ran by a guy named Mark. He has a viral YouTube series on an
All right, well, we know that. Let's get to the interview.
And unfortunately for the Whittakers, he uncovered the truth. The dad was alive and well. There was no funeral. And just like in Tyler's video,
wait, what? Yeah, they faked someone's death, right?
There was a house or living arrangements for the Whittakers. Mark then saw this video and went on the offense against Tyler. He was definitely upset that Tyler framed his video like Mark didn't give the Whittakers the money. Mark then showed the receipts that he did in fact send the money to Betty, but admitted that he lied to Tyler about an exclusive media contract. The big revelation with this video is that Mark confirmed what Betty.
Call me, Tom. The way my wife and kids went dark on me. I'm very sorry that happened, Quandale Dingle. Frank Hassel needs to collab with these people. Dude, Frank, I think Frank could diffuse the situation. He could do a lot of good.
He said is true and showed the money was apparently gone, as the Whittakers allegedly had no idea where the money was.
Well, we got more money in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Tyler then made a follow-up video to Mark's response, which is now deleted, while he was sitting on the toilet with Skyrim NPC music in the background. Here, he kind of kept the same tone as his original video, and honestly, that video didn't do him too many favors. The most recent update in the Whittaker family is one of the daughters, BJ, told Mark that her father, Larry, passed away and asked Mark for money for the funeral. So Mark jumped on a plane and showed up for the funeral. And unfortunately for the Whittakers, he uncovered the truth. The dad was alive and well. There was no funeral. And just like in Tyler's...
They just lied. They were like, we need money for a funeral. So what were they going to spend it on? Is it drugs? Is that it?
Video, there was no trace of the $150,000 that Mark sent to them. So Mark confronted Betty about the money.
I'm just starting to wonder about the whole gang here. Everybody.
I ain't getting into it.
What's that?
I ain't getting into it.
You're not getting into it.
31,000 to it.
I think when money gets involved, things get fishy around here.
Huh?
I think when money gets involved, things get crazy.
Yeah.
Give it 25,700.
They know what they did. They don't want to talk about it. They look like a little kid that got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They're like, I don't know. I don't know where the cookie went. I mean, certainly you can see from the crumbs on my face, I could understand why you think that I'm guilty, but you know, it really could have been anyone. Those crumbs could have been from anything, any cookie, different cookie. Like, it wasn't necessarily me that ate that cookie. You have to have evidence, you know, for this allegation.
25,869.
But like, that was
They're watching a show about money in the background. The Price is Right.
a lot of money that you guys got. Did any of that help you, or did it all get go up and smoke.
No, it didn't help me.
It didn't help you.
That was the biggest shock of his video. Mark sent her over $150,000 and apparently it didn't help her. The other revelation was that BJ talked about actually having some sort of contract with Mark after all. Meanwhile, tied up in the middle of this chaos, Ray, Timmy, and Lorraine, they're just not there enough to understand what's actually going on, and they suffer as a result. So I reached out to both Mark and Tyler to see if any of them wanted to come onto my channel and go a little bit more into detail on what happened and what's going to happen moving forward. And both of them actually responded very quickly, but Tyler was the only one who wanted to come onto the channel. So here's my conversation with Tyler first. Thank you, Tyler, for coming on and doing this.
Thank you for having me, man.
No worries. So just so we're on the same page with everything, I'm going to kind of go through like the TLDR of the situation. Soft White Underbelly is a channel run by a guy named Mark, and he gave the Whittakers.
I want to say that was a very succinct summary of a lot of super complicated details and lengthy videos over the last 4 weeks. So I think that's all pretty accurate. There's definitely a few things I'd probably want to add to and clarify, though, if I can. I want to set the stage a little bit for why we went there, what we do as a channel, and how this all kind of played out. I mean, the premise of what we do on the channel is go to places, ask people questions. We wanted to make a video about West Virginia, and I know about the Whittakers just as anyone else knows about the Whittakers from Mark's videos. He apparently discovered them 20 years ago or something, far ago, took a photo of them, came this thing, and he has all these videos. And I'm intrigued about them just as much as anyone else.
He's knowingly funding their drug habits? I don't think he knew. I don't think you can say he's knowingly funding their drug habits at all. That's not really true. They were talking about Mark.
So I reach my producer at the time, who is also named Tyler, no joke, reaches out to them, and we ask for the phone number to come down and visit. We get that exclusivity contract you mentioned. His assistant named Noel says, "We have an exclusivity contract. Thank you for asking us. We appreciate you considering."
Why give money to people with 50 IQ? Well, because they need help, because they need help. You can say that, but obviously they're in a downtrodden area. I think that Mark just wanted to do the right thing, and the community, that watches his videos, his audience wanted to support him. So it kind of made sense, right? It kind of made sense to want to fund them a little bit. Obviously, in retrospect, could he have thought about maybe how to manage it better? Yes, but technically it's not his money, it's their money. So, if the community wants to raise money for them, you have to kind of let them spend it the way they want. I wish they got in a house. That would have been better. But, they clearly are not smart enough to be able to handle it. Not even smart. They just they don't have the intelligence to be able to handle it. And, they've been poor their entire lives. These people need to be institutionalized. Giving them control of money is irresponsible. Yeah, maybe institutionalization wouldn't be the worst thing for them. Or just, they need someone to manage them out on the street. They don't seem dangerous to other people. They just seem like people who don't have the mental capacity to, live day to day and handle life responsibly, basically.
But basically you can't film with them. So I want to establish just off the bat here, I have no beef.
Putting them in a hospital probably would be relatively expensive too, if I had to guess. More expensive than them just living on their own. Which, they've been fine living on their own. They haven't hurt anyone in the past, 30, 40 years they've been living there. So it doesn't seem to be a problem in that way. But the problem mainly seems to be that when they're given any money, they just don't know how to handle it. They can't do it.
With Mark, there's not some long-standing multi-channel history with multiple videos of us poking at him. But I definitely want to be honest and say from the get-go, that raised my suspicion radar of what's going on here a little bit.
I understand the exclusivity contract. That would raise my suspicion radar too, because these people probably are not competent enough to sign a contract like that, right? I think Mark shouldn't have lied about that, an exclusivity contract. That seems dumb. I think Tyler, kind of took that and ran with it, with that misinformation that he was handed, and unfortunately got them into this big mess. So, yeah, but I think the thing about the money, Tyler shouldn't have framed it the way he did, because it came across as very scummy.
It's pretty atypical to hear of something like that. Unless you're a Hollywood actor, and also if you watch The Family, it doesn't seem like something they could, consent to.
Consent or sign. Yeah, they would need a guardian to sign for that, almost.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess in my head, it immediately brought some questions to mind of what's going on here. Just like Mark did originally, I said, why don't we just go down there ourselves, say what's up? We found someone who built a relationship with them. Checks in with them daily. We offered, hey, we're just going to go bring some groceries down, say what's up. Cool. She gives the information for the family. We meet up with the family. When we end up in West Virginia, I have no clue what's going on besides that email. And for all I know, because I think there was a month or two gap, there was no Whitaker update video on Mark's end. There's enough time to there could be a house there when I showed up. That's brand new. For all I know. We show up. They're still living in the same piece of crap house, basically. You wouldn't want your grandparents living there. So my question is, I get this email that says, hey, you can't speak to these people or film with them. And I know about these GoFundMes, yet the house situation is the exact same. So there's some disconnect there. So we drop off the groceries. We basically do what is a wellness check, because there's also these videos on the internet at the time that are saying Betty's dead, Ray's dead. There's some channel like spamming fake news of like the family members dying every month, according to this channel. It's also the middle of winter right now. West Virginia's, in snow. It's kind of up a windy road. It's a bit remote. These are old people we're talking about. The story takes a little twist, but we show up there. They're all alive. The house is in as much disrepair as it was previously. And I asked them, what's going on with the money? This is what she says. How's the house coming along?
What hell?
The
I don't know what hell. We have to Mark about the hell.
What did Mark say about the house? Paige wants to get an update.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you think he's...
Mark, we ain't got no more money in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, no, we killed us.
From my understanding, there's I don't know.
I wonder how mentally competent, I think this is Betty, how mentally competent she is to understand what's going on. In her mind, was she wrong by Mark because there isn't more money? Or does she understand she spent it all frivolously? Thomas Trustworthy, make sure this gets to the Whittakers. Yeah, I'll definitely donate all my money to the Whittakers right away, dude. I'm sending every single dollar I make on YouTube from the beginning, sending it to the Whittakers, dude. It's important, I'm just trying to help the incestual members of our nation. She's lying flat out. Well, she is lying, but I wonder how aware she is of the fact she's lying, or if she's just fucking dumb and she thinks she was wrong somehow. Tyler looks scared talking to them. I mean, I would be a little scared in this house. I don't know. It's like a rundown house. It's kind of sketchy, middle of nowhere. You got these incest people all around. You don't know what's going to happen.
$50,000 or $60,000 in there? Has Mark given you guys an update?
No.
Okay. When's the last
Her body language, it seems like she's lying.
time you guys have talked to Mark?
I talked to Mark the other day.
The other day? Okay. Okay, cool. Glad you guys are alive. Here's the groceries. I learned that about the GoFundMe. We dip. And I basically leave with a bunch of questions of what's going on here.
How long were you there, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably literally less than 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
If that's relevant.
Did you meet anyone else than what was shown in your video? Or was it just the main group? Because you didn't meet BJ and them, right?
No, we didn't meet BJ. We didn't meet Larry. We didn't meet any of the grandchildren that are mentioned, or the children of BJ. We met everyone shown video. So
did they contact the Whittakers, or can you just show up to these guys' house and start filming with them? How does that work? How exactly does this work? I'm very curious. Can you just go to West Virginia and pull up? He contacted them? Okay. How do you contact them? Do they use phones? How does that, do they use email? How does that, do they use just mail? How do you plan a visit with them? How does this work? I wouldn't show up. They probably have guns. I don't know if they have guns, but I know their neighbor has a gun and I guess wards off people who he thinks may be doing wrong to them. I mean, Mark said that in the beginning when he went there. Somebody showed up with a shotgun until he explained what he was doing.
Literally just it's not like we showed up and content farmed. We didn't show up and film for 10 hours or make 20 videos. It's 7 minutes of however long the 30-minute video. It's not even a focus piece on this family. We're in West Virginia. We're on this road trip. At the end of the southwest corner of West Virginia is odd. I thought it'd be interesting to see what's going on there. We showed up. We spend 30 or 40 minutes there. We learn these things. We drop off the groceries. I fulfill some, curiosity of, I've seen this family on YouTube. They're like an international sensation. And I'm also just genuinely curious after getting that email of, is there something going on here? It's one of these situations where it smells like shit. It looks like shit. It feels like shit. But it turns out it was like chocolate pudding or something.
But when you have that kind of money being involved and you're basically accusing someone of financial misconduct and fraud, right? If you're accusing Mark kind of softly of where'd the money go, Mark? If you have any honor, you'll help them out with your money. You need to have more than this. You can't make an allegation like that. It definitely looks shitty. And I think it puts a big hit on Tyler's credibility and the kind of person he is. This isn't like a career ender for him, but if he does something like this again, I think people are going to have a major problem with him in the community, So he needs to be very careful from this point forward about how he does this.
In between, because things get a little more complicated. I see this, we put out the video, and at the end of it, I got to admit and owe Mark an apology here, because I'm highly passive aggressive with my word choice, how I say this. There's definitely some confusion, and I definitely think something shady is going on here, whether or not I say that directly. The tone and how I said it was accusatory, and for that, I do apologize to Mark. And I do think we could have learned all that we've learned by going to them saying, hey, Mark, we heard this back from the family. We stopped by for a visit. Would you like to add or clarify what's going on here with the money? He probably could have presented that same information.
He definitely should have emailed him if you're going to make an allegation like that with no evidence. Even if you're going to kind of imply it, you need more. You definitely need more,
And then we would have learned where the money actually went. But I regret not doing that. And I think part of the reason we didn't do that is because I didn't think there was a communication line there realistically. In my head, the idea of him saying there's an exclusive contract, we go there, we film with them, and then ask for an itemized financial breakdown. But
even if you don't feel like there's an open line of communication, this escalates the situation, right? This escalates it to a new level where you need to be contacting Mark, I think, to ask about it. Unless he already had evidence of financial misconduct or whatever, or fraud, which he didn't have. He just had Betty saying this, right? Which trusting her is kind of silly, you know what I mean? How about what he did to Tommy G? Can I look that up somewhere, Brandon, on YouTube? Can I find that?
It doesn't seem like a realistic outcome that they would respond to. So I guess we forced his hand to respond in some capacity. Basically, I get this email. There's questions raised in my head. I'm curious. We're making this video in West Virginia. He's not the only person that knows them, but there's very few people that have known the family and that have publicly had any record of interacting with the family. I find Paige. She connects us with the family. We show up, drop off the groceries. We learn this. Video goes out. I'm suspicious of what's going on here, and admittedly and regretfully, and this is my apology to Mark. It was accusatory, and we could have gotten the same information without questioning his honor and just wording everything like we did. We could have clarified with the email.
The thing is, it wasn't, you say wording, but the wording was intended for a purpose, right? Like, it was somewhat malicious wording, I would say, from Tyler. And I feel like, I don't know. He's taking responsibility a little bit, but I feel like there could be more owning up to it. Just remember this, Tyler was on Epstein's Island. He was there, that's true. He went there. He invited himself. Big takeaway, Tyler created the situation and made the Whittakers completely radioactive. He's gussied up the situation in hindsight, but we all know he was in search of a big, juicy drama, and he got it. It just blew up in his face. And now he's happy to wipe his hands clean because every modular home has somehow realized he's 100% toxic. Yeah, I mean, it seems like he did that. I don't know. I can't totally disagree. He definitely wanted drama, and he got it. It didn't go the way he anticipated.
And if he didn't respond, that would have been our answer. And if he did respond, there would have been our answer, right? We could have given him, in hindsight, if I was in his position, I would have appreciated if someone like you are doing with me right now, following up and saying, hey, can we get your statement on this? Like, I have to be realistic. That's obviously how I would have wanted this to go down if I were him. So I understand the frustration on his end. But after that,
so he took the incestuous bumpkins at face value. He did.
A lot of things come to light, and we learn a lot. So Mark responds with this video.
Firstly, it seemed like Mark was like kind of hurt by how you framed your video. He was first kind of like showing like, guys, I did not scam them. Here is all of the receipts that I actually sent them this money.
This brings up a good point. And this is something I'd like to clarify, is that I definitely get where he's coming from. And I agree. If I were in his position, I would have wished that someone would have sent me an email. Where I think it's a little bit tough for the viewer and myself is that there are tons of people in the comment section previous to me making that video asking what happened to the GoFundMe, where's the house? There's also smaller channels that have brought this up. And then it seems like the channel of my size is what it took to get that response out of him. From my perspective.
I don't think that's a good way to say it though, because like, yes, you got a response, but you probably could have gotten some detail if you had emailed him before. And if he had not responded, then maybe you could have made a video saying very questioningly where it went, right? But it wasn't just a question, it was an accusatory question. If you had emailed Mark and you got no response, then in your video you could have been like, we emailed Mark, we got no response, Betty says this happened. That being said, you can't totally trust Betty. So just to be clear, we're not making a direct accusation. We just genuinely want to know. You could have framed it more like that instead of having a more negative framing around it, because you definitely had a very negative connotation to the way you said everything, which he owns up to here a little bit, but yeah. Brandon says, Tyler asked Tommy for his connect in St. Louis, then went there and in a roundabout way tricked the contact into speaking negatively about Tommy G for the video, caught Tommy off guard and upset him. Is this anywhere on YouTube? Like, can I watch a video about this, Brandon? Because I know you have like this negative impression of Tyler, but I'm just curious because I'm an outsider, I don't have all these details. Is there somewhere I can see this? Did Tommy call him out?
So at the time, there's not a friendly communication line here. I think there's some level of, they don't want us to film there. Stay away. So it's like, hey, can you give us an itemized financial breakdown ASAP before we put out our weekly video? It doesn't seem...
Well, the weekly video is obviously it's not public info. Okay, gotcha. You're making it public now, I guess. I mean, the thing here is like, I understand his concern with the itemized breakdown, but you could have just delayed the video a little bit, You could have just delayed it. If you're going to make an accusation, like you kind of have to delay the video to get it right. And if you're not going to delay the video to get it right, you just have to not make the accusation, basically. You can't rush it out, It's pretty shitty.
Super realistic, but maybe he would have, because within, I don't know, like 12 hours, there's a response video where he shows the bank statements, and it's basically thousands of dollars every 2 to 4 weeks he's wiring.
Well, he felt public pressure because you kind of made an accusation. Tommy said I could make a video about the situation, but I never did. Gotcha. Well, I guess I'm curious about that. What do you think about the Fresh and Fit situation? We're going to take a look at that soon.
Whitaker. And this
it would have made you look a lot better if you at least showed an email that you made an attempt to reach out for some sort of response
I'll take a look at
on it.
Fit in a minute.
I feel like that's a big thing you should have done differently in hindsight.
Oh, 100%. I agree. I think that's our takeaway here. It's like, just in hindsight, it's one of these tough things where it just doesn't seem like there's a friendly...
Yeah, no, I see. Well, I mean, like, I understand he kind of shut you down previously already.
Yeah, I got the shutdown, like, get away, kid.
Yeah.
Get away. He obviously thinks, like, I would have responded. But, the reality is there's some public pressure. Our video put a bunch of eyeballs on the situation, and he felt the need to respond, and he did. And he showed the receipts of the money.
And there's, like, no question that, like, no one has helped this family out like Mark has. Like, Mark has clearly done more for this family than, like, anyone else, it seems like. Although the money seems to have been misappropriated. Like, if he's raising money for a house, that should be going to a house. And then I'm also kind of shocked that it took 150 grand to find out, the money's not going to anything productive here.
Oh, I mean, there's levels to this conversation, but we have to be realistic a little bit here too, right? I mean, part of the core points too of what I brought up in the original video was there's, I think, 14 videos at the time, a cumulative total of like 89 million views on YouTube. These are soft monetized videos. Like, there's a lot of money to be made. You know, the family's benefiting off of Mark creating these GoFundMes and directing his audience to donate, and the audience is donating to the family, and Mark is going out there and, you know, he gets videos out of this that...
Why this implication though? Because that's true, but at the same time, like, the family never would have gotten that money in the first place if not for Mark's video. So, like, obviously it's not an entirely selfless thing, but does that really matter? Like, if you're benefiting yourself and benefiting others, that seems like a win-win, if anything, you know? Like, should every action be entirely selfless? I don't know.
Generate him money as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is like the business model of a lot of YouTube channels, right? Mr. Beast. Like, it's... You
should look into his past to see how much he's drama baiting. Does he drama bait a lot? I guess my question would be where. Have people made videos like Tyler Oliveira exposed? Well, that's the video we saw. Thought Slime. I think I watched this video and it was just kind of, he's exploiting people. Tyler Oliveira is becoming delusional. He's becoming delusional. Okay. Tyler Oliveira loves exploiting the homeless. Jesus. So I guess there's a bunch of videos criticizing him, but they don't seem that specific. They're just general complaints with this content. Tyler Oliveira goes inside Florida's village. What? Why is he on Jesse Waters? What's going on? He went on Jesse fucking Waters? He went on Fox News? Jesse Waters looks exactly like that news guy from The Simpsons that like pulls his skin flaps back. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is literally Jesse Waters. Like, tell me this is not Jesse Waters. That's literally him.
It's like the person on the other side benefits through the charity, and the charity is funded through the viewership. It's a
Todd
cool
loves exploiting content creators. That's true. I do.
thing. The unique thing to social media. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's a little bit dishonest to say that there's no incentive for him to be out there to make these videos.
Hannity, yeah, he looks like Hannity, but Jesse has like the face more. Hannity just has gray hair.
Videos, and then, you know, to sell books with their images in their faces. But that's cool. I think if everyone's consenting to everything and they like the guy, like that's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with. I just want us to be honest with. There's a symbiotic relationship at play here.
Well, clear.
But the question is, like, who cares?
Clearly he's benefiting, but they're also like, he's helped them more than anyone. I don't think there's any other way they'd get
You
funded.
can tell Atozi is kind of like, well, I guess, but like, who cares? Like, he's pushing back a little bit.
150
Atozi isn't going gorilla mode like I would, but you know, he's defending Mark in this clip.
grand over the span of a little over a year.
Well, let's keep walking down the storyline here and identify where the money went. I think that's part of an important lesson from the story and where we can go forward from this. He responds.
I feel like Tyler's being kind of cringe. I don't know. I feel like he's apologizing, but he's still kind of calling out Mark. I feel like he just has to take the L. I don't know.
You know, I respond on the toilet. I want to emphasize here that the toilet has the best acoustics in any household. Tiny, little to no bounce back off the walls. It's a great place to record audio.
So why the Skyrim NPC music? Because that's how you responded to Brent Rivera as well.
Yeah, I just, you know, I like the game. I like the sound design.
Fish.
Maybe I should have done it with no audio. I'll be honest. Maybe it makes light of the situation when it shouldn't
Tyler, sorry, but not too sorry. Yeah, clearly.
have been. I don't know. I thought it was a silly touch. We threw it in there.
Atozi also said the money was misappropriated. He's dumb. Did he say that in this video or in a different video? What video are we talking about here? The investigator video turned his audience on him.
This video started a massive YouTube feud between channels that have racked in billions of views and ended up turning
Did
it.
he say that Mark misappropriated the money or who? So the Whittakers lied by admission to Tyler, resulting in Mark discontinuing his GoFundMe, but some people can't be helped. People are always shocked when they find out that people who are dirt poor don't manage money well. Whittakers take an L on lying by admission. Mark takes an L for not disclosing what exactly donations were funding. Tyler takes an L for bad faith journalistic practices.
A large portion of one of their audiences against them. And the main part of this feud revolves around some GoFundMes.
It seems like, I mean, what did Atozi do that was bad? I don't really understand.
Because it almost makes
I feel
it
like
come
Atozi's usually pretty good. I mean, I don't know if I'd call him a journalist, but he does his journalistic integrity. He has some journalistic integrity as far as I'm aware. He does good videos. Relatively neutral, you know. Seems like a good dude.
This is like a parody.
Yeah, it almost makes my response ironic.
Yeah.
Listen, I made a mistake with the Skyrim music. It is what it is. I'm basically saying, listen, I just posed the questions. I was asking questions. All I did was ask questions. I'm not accusing him. But in reality, it was an emotionally charged reaction on my end. I responded within like...
I don't know why he's virtue signaling. He makes the same type of content. Yeah, that's very true. That's a good point. Tyler does. I mean, Tyler can't say he's just, I just ask people, like, you're making money off of them, right? Which is fine. I don't care if you want to make money off these serious issues. I don't give a fuck. But to be clear, like, he's not exactly helping the world either. And maybe he's just mad that he's seen as more of a scummy dude because he takes a less artistic approach versus Softwood Underbelly, who's seen as more of an artist or documentarian, I guess. Maybe that's it. I don't really know, but it seems like kind of a dumb call out to make.
3 or 4 or 5
I
hours
was afraid of a lawsuit. I mean, I don't think he would get sued. I think it's clear that probably wouldn't happen.
of his video. I do acknowledge, looking back, that it was accusatory through my tone, through the way the words were structured. Even if I wasn't explicit, it was implicitly like,
He's just asking some questions, Mouthy Buddha. Base, thanks for the 5.
I called his honor into question, and then through my tone, I'm also implying there's something shady going down.
Yes.
And it turns out there was something going down with the money. I think I was just pointing my finger at the wrong direction here, because the story gets even crazier.
Yeah, you stirred the pot, and then things just got to a crazy boiling point.
Well, I think I flipped over the rock, and I thought there was something very specific under that rock, and it turns out it was something else entirely.
So so what happens next, I guess, is what we covered in the intro, where BJ, who my understanding is the daughter of Betty.
Daughter of Larry, my understanding.
Daughter of Larry, okay. And she called Mark saying that Larry passed away. I also have a question. Did she call you?
This is a great point. So I am in Jamaica at the time. I get probably 84 phone calls, rough estimate, within a day, every 5 minutes or so, from an unknown phone number. I eventually answer like phone call number 40, and I speak to BJ on the phone. She says, hey, I need $150 for some clothes and some groceries for the family. And first of all, I have never spoken to BJ. I never met BJ. I know who she is by proxy of the family, but I didn't meet her down there. I also have been told that there may be some drug problems involved as relates to her. And I'm also skeptical of just sending.
How do you spend that much money on drugs, though? Like, is crystal meth that expensive? I don't really get it, you know? Tyler seems a bit self-centered. I've seen his content, and sometimes it feels like he really just wants to point a camera at some crazy shit and not bring attention to real issues. I mean, that's probably true. Is that necessarily wrong, though? Like, I guess I just don't really care. I don't really care for like this, like, they're exploiting issues. I don't give a shit. My moral compass is less intact than that. I don't care. I don't care.
Money to anyone for that matter, and setting the precedent for being an ATM that could be used for questionable things. So I answer the phone. I say, hey, I'm in Jamaica right now. I'm going to be back tomorrow.
I'm in Jamaica.
I'll back on the phone tomorrow, figure something out. I fly back to the United States. And also, she calls me like 40 times in between. So this is like insane behavior. I just want to establish. I'm getting 8 phone calls from anyone is a wild thing. I don't know what's going on. I've never spoken to her before. I don't know how she got my number. I eventually answer. I didn't send her cash initially. I'm suspicious of what's going on here. I'm hesitant to set the precedent for being an ATM for the family that is in any function beyond getting them a home. The next day, I'm pretty certain I see the video with Mark.
Wasted it on booze or scratch offs? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. Dude, people do like, I didn't even realize people still buy like the little scratch tickets or the lottery. I've never bought a lottery ticket in my life, but every time I go to the gas station and there's someone who's like above the age of 30 in front of me at the gas station, they're usually buying those little tiny bottles of Jack Daniels, and then they're buying scratch tickets.
That video comes out where he hops on a red-eye flight, apparently, flies to West Virginia and confronts her for using the money for other means.
Yeah.
But what you and your audience and the rest of the world has not seen or heard of what we've been up to behind the scenes the last 30 days. I did my toilet review, my toilet update, and then we've been working on something for the last 30 days I'd like to update you and everyone else on at some point, if we can.
We got to Mark's recent video, which was like a 50-minute long video where he just showed up and we found out Larry's live and well. And he also, I don't know if you noticed or watched the video, but they also asked about you. And Mark was like, I don't know him. I have nothing to do with him.
Yep. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I mean, obviously, here's the only thing I would say is I spoke to Betty or BJ on the phone. I did not give her money. I was suspicious of what was going on, the urgency by which they needed money. None of it made sense. And also, she never mentioned her dad died. That was not the story sold to me. I was told we need money for groceries. So she pitched me a different concept of why they needed money, which was groceries and food. But I never knew Larry died until I saw Mark's video, which apparently he was not dead. I learned the situation with Larry through Mark's 54.
Okay, I think we have the full scope of the picture here. I'm pretty sure at the end of this video, Atozy talks about the email that he got from, because he emailed Mark from Softwood Underbelly to see if he would do a video.
Apologizing and just wanting to move the situation forward in the best way possible. And I guess that is really all he can do as of now. Tyler did provide me with receipts of him putting down a deposit to buy multiple modular homes with his own money. But unfortunately, as he stated, every company...
And the situation there is that basically Tyler wanted to get them a modular home, and every modular home company he talked to backed out of it, and he wasn't able to get it done.
He tried to buy one from ended up refunding him and pulling out of the whole situation. Here's the receipts of that, but I'm censoring the names and companies since clearly they
Why does Tom have Mr. Beast on Google bookmarked? Why wouldn't I bookmark the Go?
wanted to stay out of this. And he also sent me a 38-minute phone call with him and one of the companies, and it was essentially like Tyler walking out on Shark Tank and trying to pitch the company on why they should sell him
What is this editing? Why does he look like that?
house after all. With a little plot twist that the company can't hang up on him because that is apparently bad customer support. So the phone call just goes in circles for 38 minutes. So I think I'm just going to spare all of our time here, but TLDR, the company's worried about the potential negative PR and the safety of their workers, which I guess is fair. Tyler also shared an email with me confirming that he apologized directly to Mark and not just here on my YouTube channel. But I left the call with him in hopes of being able to talk to Mark as well, and maybe even getting both of them on a call together, but sadly that did not work out. Tyler announced that he's going to give the funds raised in his GoFundMe in home repairs rather than buying them a modular home, as no company will allow him to buy a home. And I guess that is the best option because clearly the Whittakers can't be trusted with large sums of money. Overall, the whole situation is just extremely chaotic and had a bunch of sad plot twists. So that's all I have for right now, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, I think that Tyler messed up. Didn't just mess up. Tyler made a malicious video where he made an accusation he couldn't prove. He didn't have evidence for it. He didn't research it enough. And in the end, he got fucked for it, and he probably deserved to get fucked for it. He caused the situation for himself. Hopefully, this is a moment of self-reflection for him, and he doesn't do something like this again. I would hope. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I guess we'll see with time, you know, if Tyler Oliveira... I would say at this point, he has enough plausible deniability for the YouTube audience to still have viewers and not be seen as a scumbag. He has just enough. But if he does something like this again, people are going to have a big problem, and his audience is going to really turn on him, too. I would say that's what's going to happen. So he's got to be careful here. He's got to be real careful. He's got to be real careful with how he goes forward with this.